Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
COVID-19 deadly for nursing home residents downriver, and today residents are getting the vaccine. We'll show you.
In chilling detail, the second impeachment trial of President Trump gets underway with new video showing the violent siege at the Capitol on January 6th.
All coming up. We're going to begin, though, with all of Metro Detroit locked in a deep freeze, temperatures in the 20s now, but marching towards single digits overnight. Glad you're with us. If it wasn't for the bitter cold, today was perfect. If you could just look at it.
Yeah, the sun was shining for the most part of the day, which helped your mood, everything. So let's get over to Ben, see where we're headed into the night here.
Kim, you're right. Mother Nature literally dangling a shiny object to distract us from this Arctic assault that is on top of us. We woke up to 10 degrees this morning in Detroit, but there were single digits, even a 4 below in Lapeer. We've managed to recover with the help of that sunshine to the low 20s in spots, and most likely our warmest temperatures we're going to see until the middle of next week. So as we go forward, tomorrow we've got temperatures that are going to get even colder, and there's going to be snow just off to our south. In fact, when we look at the setup for that, you can see we're just going to be on the northern extent of it. So we'll see who gets the snow tomorrow, but there are plenty more chances before the weekend approaches and even colder temperatures than what we're expecting tonight as we go forward. So we'll look at all that in a few minutes. Okay?
All right, Ben, our other top story at this hour, of course, for the first time ever, an impeachment trial is underway for a former United States president. Sparked a debate over whether this process is constitutional, and that's what they're voting on right now. But overshadowing that argument, fresh reminders of the violent attack inside the U.S. Capitol, where senators are hearing the arguments to decide former President Trump's fate. Let's get to Alice Barr. She's following day one of the trial from Washington. Good evening, Alice.
Devin, House impeachment managers opened their case by playing videos of the violence and chaos of January 6th, a day that's deeply personal to the team arguing to convict the former president and to the senators deciding his fate. In a singular moment in American history, the second impeachment trial of former President Trump began today, and from the start, it thrust the senators sitting in judgment back to January 6th, when a pro-Trump mob laid siege to the U.S. Capitol. Senators, in some cases seated at desks that were ransacked by rioters, now tasked with deciding whether Mr. Trump violated his constitutional oath and bears responsibility for the deadly attack. House impeachment managers replaying the harrowing events of January 6th and the former president's own fiery words just before the riot, arguing that capped weeks of escalating lies and rhetoric about an election he claims was fixed.
That's a high crime and misdemeanor. If that's not an impeachable offense, then there is no such thing.
Today's debate focused on whether it's constitutional to try a former president. The Trump legal team arguing impeachment is only intended to remove a president from office.
We can't possibly be suggesting that we punish people for political speech in this country.
House managers point to precedent for trying former officials and argue that not holding Mr. Trump accountable would set its own dangerous precedent.
Presidents can't inflame insurrection in their final weeks and then walk away like nothing happened.
The former president's lawyers say he was speaking figuratively when he urged supporters to fight, that he was exercising his First Amendment rights, and that the Capitol attack was, quote, pre-planned by a small group of criminals. Tomorrow, the two sides are set to go deeper into the arguments for and against conviction of the former president. In Washington, Alice Barr, Local 4.
All right, Alice, now no specific timeline in place. This impeachment trial expected to move along, though, a bit more quickly than the first. You may recall that one lasted about 3 weeks. The vote taking place on the constitutional argument right now.
All right, now to some positive news in the battle against COVID-19. Today, the state reports 563 new cases over the past 24 hours. That puts us below 1,000 for 3 straight days now. Sadly, though, the state is reporting 60 new deaths, including 31 from a review of past vital records. And tonight, we're also seeing positive signs in the vaccine making its way to our state.
As of today, a little more than 2 million doses have been delivered. Nearly 1.3 million of those doses have gone into arms. This afternoon, Governor Whitmer gave an update on the state's battle against the pandemic.
And it's all coming amid a growing rift with the state legislature over funding moving forward. Rod Maloney joins us live tonight to help break it all down for us. Hi, Rod.
Hi, Kimberly. You know, we've watched this, but it's getting more and more acute here as the governor and the legislature move far apart on a day-to-day basis. Let's take a look at the supplemental budget that they're talking about that contains the COVID funding. The governor wants $5 million in her budget. The House went for $3.5 billion, and I want to make sure I say billion for the governor, billion for the House, and the Senate only went for $2 billion. So they're all far apart here. But the governor is saying that the legislature is becoming very difficult for her and for the COVID response in all because of federal funding.
Through the Michigan COVID recovery plan, we may fall on the priority list of supplies and as a result see a slowdown in our vaccination rates. This is a very real threat. Michigan has been a leader and we have been able to get the supplies we need. But if those dollars aren't appropriated quickly enough, that could be at risk, which means our recovery will take longer, our vaccination rates could decline.
Appropriations Chair Senator Jim Stamis of Midland put out his own statement, quote, "This plan is responsive and responsible. It helps meet the dire needs facing our state and our people while being smart in how we spend federal assistance dollars. Instead of issuing a blank check for the governor to use without a detailed plan, our plan funds our state's most pressing needs and saves additional resources so we continue to assess the situation and have the ability to respond to problems as they arise," end quote. The House looks to limit the governor's powers by giving local school districts the power to start and stop school sports and also incentivizes in-school learning. The governor wasn't hearing any of that either.
Obviously, no one's going to be surprised to know that these are executive powers that no executive ever wants to have to use, but they need to rest in the executive branch. And ultimately, the buck will stop with the governor. And I will be judged by the voters when I am up for re-election.
And so now the governor says she definitely wants students back in school. She's open to hybrid, but she wants the students in face-to-face learning. And just a few minutes ago, the Speaker of the House said that he was very happy to hear that the governor supports that. He's happy with that, but they are still very far apart on this whole funding issue and the supplemental budget. Reporting live, Rod Maloney, Local 4.
Okay, Rod. Today, Mayor Duggan announced the city of Detroit is expanding efforts to get seniors vaccinated.
And they plan to do it two ways, but the big one is they're branching out from the TCF Center and offering new sites to get the shot. Jason Colthorpe following that. He is calling it Senior Saturdays, Jason.
Exactly what he's calling it, Devin, and that'll be at 2 Detroit churches. And before that, here at Meyer on Friday, they have lots of appointments scheduled, and the city is offering them 2,000 doses to make sure those are covered. With 2 cases of the COVID variant now appearing in Detroit, the city is taking vaccinating seniors 65 and older to another gear.
Starting today, you can get a ride to the TCF Center. $2 round trip. Pick you up at the house. They'll stay with you through the entire process, take you home. If you can't afford the $2, they'll waive the $2 and take you for free. Every single senior, whether you have a car, you can afford a car, you can get a ride, and all you have to do is call.
In addition to giving Detroit seniors a ride to get vaccinated, the city is bringing the vaccine to them. For the next 4 Saturdays, seniors can call and schedule an appointment to be vaccinated at 2 churches, Fellowship Chapel on the west side and Second Ebenezer on the east side.
Those who feel that they're shut in, that they may have been forgotten, we haven't forgotten you.
With the vaccination rate in Detroit just 5% and lagging behind the state's 13% rate, the leaders of those churches appealed to those that simply don't trust the vaccine process.
3.5 times more of the deaths occur in the African American community.
To my African American brothers and sisters is that the vaccine you are going to be taking was developed by an African American woman, and that is just a fact. Those are the words of Dr. Anthony Fauci.
Reverend Wendell Anthony went further, listing several prominent African American doctors and medical staff, including Michigan's Dr. Janae Caldoon, who've been involved in the process nationwide.
These people ain't trying to take you out. They're trying to keep you in the game of life.
Before I go, I should also mention the mayor rolled out announced a second round of PPP loans for Detroit small businesses. who've been hammered by the pandemic. There are lots of restrictions like the first round, but one of the big headlines is if a business got money the first time around, it can get money again. Again, there are a lot of hoops to jump through, a lot of qualifications that need to be adhered to. To do that, businesses go to DetroitMeansBusiness.org for all that information. We're in Detroit today. Jason Colthorpe, Local 4.
All right, Jason, and outside the city, it was a very big day for seniors living at the Elmcroft of Downriver in Brownstown Township.
Today, they lined up for their first shots of the coronavirus vaccine, and our Sean Lay was there for it. He joins us now live. Sean, this has to come as a huge relief for these folks here.
Big time. Hope inside the building. You see me, but look, guys, we were very close to this very building when this all broke out in the spring. Remember Rivergate Terrace Nursing Home right over in Riverview? So many not surviving coronavirus and COVID-19. So today here, a big day, a big step forward at Elmcroft of Downriver, where residents inside got vaccinated.
I got my second shot today. I'm all done.
Myra McQuiston is 87.
I feel like I'm a lot safer.
And tonight, she and more than 70 senior residents and staff at Elmcroft of Downriver Senior and Assisted Living in Brownstown Township do feel more safe after some received their first, others their second dose of the COVID-19 vaccine.
No worry whatsoever. Yeah. I was tired the first time, but and a sore arm, but I'm fine today.
Today was a good day. We were able to make more of a difference today.
We've shown you seniors at home struggling to get vaccine appointments. The state is finding success in getting seniors in 400 nursing homes statewide vaccinated. The program at Elmcroft was handled by Walgreens.
You know, it's been a struggle. There's been a lot of family frustration. There's been a lot of frustration amongst staff, frustration amongst the people that live here. It's difficult. It's supply and demand. The next rollout, I think, is 65 and older. You're going to be able to get yours to the general public next. At least that's my understanding.
So that is something new. For the past 3-4 weeks, we've been focusing on the seniors at home, unable to get an appointment or a vaccine. The state has been quietly going into nursing homes and other assisted care facilities, 400 of them, and vaccinating about 35,000 residents. And people here think that's going to free up more vaccine for seniors at home as more vaccine becomes into the market through a different vaccine coming online or more vaccine simply being made. Guys, back to you.
All right, Sean, I need to get to breaking news now from Capitol Hill. The Senate has just completed its vote 56-44 to proceed with the impeachment trial. That means 6 Republicans joined with the Democrats to pass it, but the trial is adjourned until noon tomorrow. 44 Republicans, though, voting, believing that they don't believe that there are constitutional grounds to proceed. 14 of them would have to change their minds for the Senate to end up convicting President Trump.
All right, we've got much more ahead. Let's check in with Paula.
We take a look at the life of Mary Wilson, who died suddenly and surprisingly to her friends. Most of us know her as a music icon and really a wonderful person, but she was also a warrior who used her music as her greatest weapon.
All right, Paula, also time to go back to church. The Detroit Archdiocese does an about-face when it comes to requiring Catholics to go to Mass. Larry.
A tragic situation here at the Detroit Zoo involving 2 polar bears.
We don't understand exactly what happened that caused the conflict that resulted in her death.
I'm Larry Sproul, and I'll tell you what happened and what zoo leaders are now doing after the accident.